Veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers made it clear what his expectations are for Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Roman Wilson, praising his talent but stressing that he must meet a standard of excellence to reach his full potential with the Steelers. Wilson has been one of the standouts of the preseason, flashing both speed and big playability. Against the Jacksonville Jaguars, he needed just 2 drives to shine, beating starting cornerback Tyson Campbell on a crossing route and finishing with 2 catches for 26 yards. A week later, he made an even bigger statement against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, hauling in a 42-yard pass over Jamal Dean in coverage and later adding another 30-yard gain on a separate crosser. "I think he's improving every day," Rodgers said. "You saw the results, and he went out there and made a couple splash plays. But we're going to coach him hard. He's a great talent, but that can make the difference. We're going to hold him to a standard of excellence. He has a chance to be a big-time talent in the league," he added, according to PennLive. Rodgers said he has been happy with the way Wilson has responded to challenges throughout Steelers camp. The 2024 third-round pick worked with the first-team offense for much of the summer, earning top wide receiver reps in the preseason while DK Metcalf sat out and Calvin Austin III dealt with injury. In his latest outing, Wilson totaled 2 receptions for 72 yards and drew praise for his commitment as a blocker. The offense of the Steelers has quickly adapted to Rodgers' leadership since he signed with the team in June. The veteran compared Wilson's situation to young receivers he mentored in the past, like Allen Lazard, who became a reliable target during their time together in Green Bay. Rodgers believes Wilson has the tools as a route runner and deep play threat to thrive in a similar role if he continues his development. The quarterback emphasized that while Wilson's athletic ability is obvious, consistency and mental focus will ultimately determine his long-term success. His decision to push Wilson reflects the belief that he can become an impact player in the NFL if he meets those demands. Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman Ryan McCollum plans to return to the field on Thursday against the Carolina Panthers, he told Alan Saunders of Steelers Now. McCollum told Saunders the injury has been frustrating, and it is something he has dealt since the start of training camp. He has not played in either preseason game. "You have no idea how frustrating it's been," McCollum said to Saunders. McCollum started 2 games against the New York Giants and New York Jets while rookie Zach Frazier was injured last season. McCollum has been with the Steelers since 2022 on the practice squad and the active roster. He has started in 3 games in his career and played in 30 games overall. Before spending most of his time in Pittsburgh, McCollum played for the Houston Texans and Detroit Lions. He was an undrafted free agent out of Texas A&M when entering the league, but has carved out a serious role for himself. McCollum, 27, will likely slot in as Frazier's backup center. He can play 3 spots across the offensive line, including guard. Without him on the field, Max Sharping has taken most of the snaps at backup center. The Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the NFL's most stable franchises, but their fan base is becoming increasingly restless. Much of that frustration is being directed at Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin and defensive coordinator Terrell Austin, as concerns over Pittsburgh's stagnant results continue to grow. A recent post on X criticizing Austin for not maximizing the league's most expensive defense drew nearly 100 replies and more than a dozen quoted reposts. Not a single fan defended the veteran coach. Instead, the conversation shifted toward Tomlin, with some calling Austin a figurehead, ultimately insisting that the defensive issues fall on the head coach. Expand tweet. This tension is not new. Pittsburgh was bounced from the playoffs by Baltimore last season after another late collapse. Derrick Henry ran through the Steelers' defense for the 2nd straight matchup. Calls for Austin's firing intensified. But veteran reporter Mark Kaboly has noted that Tomlin's influence over the defense is significant and that Austin is unlikely to be let go before his contract ends. National outlets remain kinder. Pro Football Network recently ranked Austin as the 7th best defensive coordinator in football, crediting the Steelers for making the postseason despite erratic quarterback play. Pittsburgh led the league in defensive takeaways a year ago and finished 12th in advanced metrics. To fans, however, those rankings ring hollow, without playoff victories. The growing discontent highlights the divide between outside perception and local expectations. Pittsburgh has not won a postseason game since 2016, and while Tomlin has never posted a losing season, critics believe the franchise is stuck in neutral. To many supporters, consistent contention is not enough. The standard is championships. Tomlin's job security is not in doubt, but patience is wearing thin. The franchise's loyalty to its coaches has long been a source of pride, yet in 2025, the Steelers find themselves caught between tradition and a fan base eager for change. Until the team breaks through in January, the voices calling out Tomlin and Austin will only grow louder. One of the top free agent offensive linemen available has been making visits around the league this week, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the visits he is considering making, per ESPN's Jeremy Fowler on X. Free agent guard Dalton Risner, who worked out for the Bengals today, will also visit the Seahawks, per source. Visiting the Steelers also a consideration. Wants to take multiple visits before making a decision, Fowler wrote. Risner was a second-round pick of the Denver Broncos in the 2019 NFL Draft. He spent 4 years in Denver before signing as a free agent with the Minnesota Vikings. A back injury before the 2024 season cut into the start of his season and potentially hampered his play last season, but he started 81 games since entering the league in 2019. At 30 years old, Risner is still relatively young with plenty of experience to add to an OL room around the NFL. The Steelers' starting 5 offensive linemen are set entering a season for the first time in many years, but their depth is still questionable. Spencer Anderson is their backup guard, but they could stand to upgrade their depth with additional experience. The report that he is considering a visit to Pittsburgh indicates the Steelers are poking around at depth options for the offensive line. Notably, Steelers OG Isaac Seumalo has barely practiced at training camp this year as he entered on the NFI list with a soft tissue injury. Risner measured at 6,046, 312 pounds with 34-inch arms coming out of K-State. He ran a 5.3-second 40-yard dash and put up 23 reps on the bench press. Pro Football Focus gave him a 67.0 overall grade last season, the second best of his career, including a 57.4 run-blocking grade and 76.2 pass-blocking grade. He was charted as allowing 16 total pressures and 0 sacks in the 10 games he played last season. He has extensive experience as both a left and right guard at the NFL level. If his visit happens, we should hear more about it in the next few days.